Andrew, I just want to say on behalf of the board how thrilled we are that you've come to be part of the WRI family. We are delighted.
Well, thanks very much, Hattie. It's a real joy for me to join an organization that I've known and loved for 2 decades now. I've seen what WRIs are doing around the world in 40 countries. And now having met the staff, world-class professionals, and having met the board, really a wonderful combination of people that are making a difference. So thank you, it's great to be here.
What do you see as the biggest challenges facing the health of the planet and, of course, by extension, the human society on the planet?
You think of the last 20 years, I mean, huge progress. The world economy is almost twice as big as it was 20 years ago. Per capita real incomes in developing countries are twice what they were. Life expectancy is 4 years greater than it was. Terrific achievements that we've made, but we've done them without paying attention to the pressures we're putting on the natural world. We've lost in the last 20 years an amount of forest equal to the size of Argentina. Our greenhouse gas emissions are almost double what they are. You think about the challenge to continue to increase human well-being, but doing it differently.
I want to underscore how pleased we are that you bring to this job both the development background and the environment background.
WRI is not just an environmental organization, are we? We are an organization that is promoting human well-being, but doing it in a way that respects the pressures on the planet. And in fact, you can only promote human well-being if you do respect the forests, the land, the water, and so on.
That's the point, really, isn't it? It's working at that intersection between the environment and development that gets us where we need to go on the planet. How do you see WRI positioned to help move forward on the priorities of those challenges?
Well, this is a decade where it would be nice if there were global rules that everybody followed, but there aren't, and they're not going to be this decade. So what we need to do is we need to rely on leadership. Leadership at the national, global, local, community, corporate levels. And this is what WRI is very good at. We are extremely good at doing serious analysis, presenting in an unbiased, non-opinionated, professional way, good designs to the problems that the world faces. And we bring both the technical skills, the political skills, and increasingly also the financial skills. We're very good at figuring out how we can get politicians to the right place, how we can support financial institutions to bring in the right kind of money. So we really are a think tank and a do tank. And that's what's so effective, I think, about WRI.
Andrew, WRI prides itself in making big ideas happen. Talk a little bit more about that.
Well, we need big ideas because we face big problems. And in order to get those big ideas into action, we need to not only have world-class technical expertise, we also need to understand how policymakers, how leaders, how decision makers tick. That's what WRI is very good at. So, for example, I mean, think of some of our current projects. Global Forest Watch, that puts on the desks of decision makers all around the world up-to-date, real-time data as to what's happening in the forests at a very, very detailed level. By making it so user-friendly and by bringing such world-class expertise to it, this will, for the first time, really give decision makers a common basis upon which to make decisions. Consider, for example, our aqueduct program that puts data on water risk in the hands of corporate decision makers as well as government decision makers. This will help them make decisions in real time and take water seriously, and there'll be a feedback loop back into government policy making. Consider, for example, our Access initiative, which basically has this sort of brilliant idea of data, information must be available not only to those who are powerful, but to everybody, to the poor, to the disadvantaged. A lot of evidence suggests that kind of knowledge can feed back then into real progress. These are all examples. So too is our greenhouse gas protocol, which for 10 years now has been providing a common basis for measuring greenhouse gases that corporations are using all around the world, and so are institutions. Think about our Embark program, bringing the world-class knowledge on what really works on sustainable transport at the city level. These are all examples of how good science, good analysis is mixed together with an understanding of how decision makers make decisions. And then in our country offices, in China, in India, and we're going to be opening an office in Brazil, and also in the 40 other countries we work in, we're actually working on the front line with those decision makers. So it's very, very exciting. And that's how we bring big ideas to life, into action.
Andrew, you're a trained economist. I mean, that's what you are. That's one of the things that you bring to this job is an economics background. Tell me how that fits into what WRI does.
Well, at the end of the day, we need jobs. We need economic growth if we are going to have the kind of world that is required. Too often in the past, we've seen growth and green as opposites. And many finance ministers around the world still believe that. And our job is to demonstrate that actually, if you want long-term growth that is sustainable, it better be green.
We think that WRI already punches above its weight, but I'd be interested in hearing more about how you see WRI's strengths working in the future.
Well, WRI is already highly effective. And I think that is a universal view. Moving forward, challenges are growing, and so there will be areas we'll be giving expanded attention to. Consider cities, for example. 2.3 billion people will be moving to the cities in the next 18 years. What kind of cities will they be? What kind of houses will those people live in? What kind of factories will they work in? What kind of transportation systems? So, for example, we're expanding our work very substantially in cities and transportation. WRI is globally credible on data and analysis and ideas. And the trick is continually to make sure those ideas get to the right people to make the decisions. They may be CEOs of corporations, they may be presidents of companies, they may be the United Nations, they may be local communities. So we are going to judge ourselves, as we do already, not by the number of reports we write or the beauty of our analysis, but by the impact on the ground.